All right. Well, y'all, I have got a canvas here tonight that I am going to pour over again. As y'all can probably tell from my previous few videos, I having just having some issues with paint flowing on my canvases and doing what I want them to do recently. As you can also tell by my by my mat here. So tonight I am going to do a pour over this canvas here. This is a 10 by 20 stretched canvas. I ended up literally having to scrape the paint off of this and just start over. It was supposed to be this really pretty colors here that I was going to do. Put it on there, and it pretty much all turned to mud when I tried a new technique. So I literally scraped it all off and poured it into this cup, which I'll use as a negative space in a future pour. Anyway, so I'm going to salvage this canvas and use it for my first beach pour. So I'm pretty excited about that. Tonight I'm going to use like a 3/4 of the way full 1 ounce condiment cup. This is what's going to be my beach colors. For that I have got Territorial Beige, Desert Sand, and Brushed Antique Gold. Now, in all of my colors that I'm doing tonight, my ratio is 2 to 1. So 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint, except for my metallics. So like my gold, my color shifts, and my few other metallics that I've got in here, my pearls. They're closer to like a 1 to 1 ratio, just because otherwise the metallics, the pearls, the color shifts, I feel like they can kind of get lost in the mix. They kind of separate out, go over the other colors, and you lose the individual color itself. So like I said, on my pearls, my metallics, my color shifts, I do closer to a 1 to 1 ratio, but all my other colors I do at least a 2 to 1 ratio, sometimes a little bit more Floetrol. So all of my colors, except for the white that I'll have, the standard white that I'll have tonight, all of my colors will have a little splash of this coconut milk, this Nourishing Coconut Milk Anti-Breakage Serum by OGX. I've seen a lot of other artists using this, so I've put like a half a pump to a pump in all of my colors, and then just kind of folded it in, not really stirred it in. And then I also am using, instead of just water, drops of water to kind of thin out my paints to get them to the consistency I want, I, at the advice of another artist that I follow on here on YouTube, am taking her suggestion and using a 90 to 10 ratio of 90% water, 10% Floetrol in this little empty bottle. I just make sure before I use it, I shake it up, and then right before I actually start getting my paints ready, I'll pour a little bit of that mixture into anywhere between a 1 to 3 ounce cup with a cut off straw, and this is what I use as my dropper. I can control based on how much I lift my finger, you know, drops versus a whole pour of this. I get a little bit more control. So that's what I use there. Like I said, I've got my little 1 ounce beach colors mixed up here. I've got about 2.5 ounces of solid white here mixed up. This doesn't have any pearls. This doesn't have any anything in it. It's just white and Floetrol here, and again some of the water Floetrol mix in there. It doesn't have any coconut milk or any silicone oil in it. the colors for my beach pour, or for my ocean pour that I'm going to do, I've got a pearl white here that I'm going to use hopefully kind of between the sand and the water here, and then probably like on some of the, I'm hoping I can get it to kind of form some of the peaks. I might have to go back and kind of add that one. I've got solid cobalt blue, color shift teal. I've got, this is called Caribbean by Apple Barrel. Metallic sapphire blue. This is dark gray, also Apple Barrel. This is frost blue. I believe it's frost blue. Ice blue, sorry. So those are the colors that I'm going to use in my water. And I'm going to pour those in here in this 3-ounce paper bathroom cup to make my dirty pour for my ocean. Alright, so I'm going to get my ocean colors poured into my cup here. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of my solid white here, and I'm going to put just a little bit of that here in my dirty pour cup. Just to separate these layers a little bit. And I should note also in this pearl white, I used some Pearl X pigments in the 650 micro pearl. I got this at my local craft shop, or sorry, my local art store, just right up the street from me, and it's really awesome. It's versatile, it's deep luster, non-tarnishing, weather resistant, temp resistant, and color fast. And this was already pearl white, and I just added just a little bit of that to this white. Literally only did, for those of you that haven't seen this before, it's just a powder in here. And I just took one of my little craft sticks here, and I just got out a little bit and I added it to that pearl white just to give it a little bit more oomph and depth to it. I'm going to set that pearl white aside because now I really just want to use that kind of towards the beach and towards the top of what I'm hoping I can form are some peaks in my water. And I'm going to come back and add just a little bit of this white, which will hopefully sink down and give my colors some depth here. All right, so I ended up doing about 2.5 ounces out of this 3-ounce cup. I'm going to set this aside, and my goal is that I'm going to do a flip cup here in this general area of my beach pour, and I'm going to hopefully kind of have that end right about here, and then I'm going to put some white down here so that my dirty pour cup, dirty flip cup, will have somewhere to go for my beach. It's going to be a really thin layer of white that I'm going to put down, but just so that the paint's not trying to drag over a dry canvas. So that is my goal there. Alright, so I'm going to get my white put down here so that way I can get it all spread out. So like I said, my dirty pour colors will have somewhere to go. I want to have just a little bit of this white on hand in case I need it to go between my beach, my sand, and my water. Just gonna get this spread out here. And yes, I know my canvas is not exactly level. It was warped, unfortunately, when I purchased it. I've done just about everything I can to level it out, and it does not want to play nice. So this one's just, it's going to be what it is. And I am just literally using a frosting spreader here, although I've seen some other artists use some like really wide spatulas, like silicone spatulas, to spread their paint, and I think I really kind of like that better just because it seemed like it flowed quite a bit better. So that might be something I'll be investing in, but we'll see. I do like using this versus how I used to do it, which was using a paintbrush. It seemed to take forever to get my paint everywhere that I wanted it to be. And it was honestly kind of annoying how long that took. And then I had to wash out my paintbrushes and everything like that, whereas now I can just literally, while it's still wet, wipe this off, and boom, I'm ready for next time because it's done and I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do with all of that paint. So just getting all of that paint out. Made such pretty colors in there with the beige, the desert sand, and that gold. So that's going to be really fun. Alright, so I'm already getting some really great cells here. I want some of this to flow off the side here for me. Just so that, again, I'm getting that coverage that I want along the sides here. Let me see if I can get this to flow a little bit more that way. Awesome. So now, let me get this blue going here. Kind of came out a bit messy. It's gonna be all right. These are going to be some really fun cells. I can already tell. we're gonna get this show rocking and rolling here. I want to come along my shoreline here. And again, I just want to give my cup, the paint in my cup, somewhere to go. All right. The great news is I have plenty more of these colors mixed up, so I can kind of go around these edges and add more of my colors in here. Whoops. That happens when you are a klutz such as myself. So that's gonna be fun here. So I am just essentially preparing a second dirty pour cup. Of my ocean colors. Like I said, I've got plenty of them left. And I'm going to do I'm going to do just a little bit up here. All right. While that's setting, I'm going to kind of play around down here a little bit. With my sand. See if I can't get some cool things to happen here. All right, let's see what's going on underneath this cup, shall we? So pretty. tilt this. Get this back here. I want the weight of the paint to come back here. And again, I just want to give my paint somewhere to go. So this white will tend to dry out as it's been sitting here on my canvas, waiting to receive the paint. So and I've really kind of played with this a long time too, so all right, and now I'm just going to kind of blow this around here and see what I can kind of get. So let's have some fun. It's way too big of a straw. Let's try this. I think this is going to really turn out pretty awesome, actually. Even though I've messed with it quite a bit now. I'm going to turn this bad boy around so that I can work on this other side now. Again, I'm a klutz. Story of my life. Especially as an artist. I had to kind of move these around with my fingers up here in this corner because it was already dry and my paint wouldn't move. Alright. Let's see what else we can do here. right. Let's torch this puppy. One of the other things that I can do here are some swipes. See if we can get something kind of cool. Kind of come out here. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right. I think we've reached the time of night where my paint has become a little less forgiving since I took so much time. But I think for a first double flip beach pour, this has turned out pretty cool. Awesome. Again, we're not trying to torch the paint. We're just trying to heat it up a little bit to get bubbles out. All right. let's turn this thing around. You can see our finished product. So terrified I'm going to drop this thing. All right. There y'all have it. This is my now finished 10 by 20 stretched canvas that I'm not going to play with anymore. This is my first beach double pour or flip cup. I think it turned out really cool. I really kind of like it. I like how this, with the pearl white along here, turned out. That was really fun. I think that was pretty awesome. So overall, I'm really pretty excited about this. Like I said, I think it turned out really fun, really great. This middle part was a little bit of a challenge just because I didn't really properly plan for the amount of paint I was going to need, but I think this still really turned out really, really cool. I'm going to leave this alone and let this dry. I'm in North Texas, so by tomorrow morning, most of this is going to be dry, especially the edges. I'm probably just going to have a little bit right here that'll still be wet, and then by tomorrow evening, I'll be able to touch this and play around with it. So I think this was, like I said, a lot of fun. I think it turned out really cool. If you'd like to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe. I'd love to know what y'all thought about this painting or in this piece here, so definitely drop me some comments below, and thanks so much for watching.